So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it safe. Right now it's unchambered. There's a magazine in there. So let's get into how to do this. When I took mine apart, I saved the spring in the ball. That's the only thing that's different between the G-type and the X. Let's first by doing a field strip. Set the frame to the side. Take out our locking block and a barrel. And we are now working with a bare slide. Okay, the reason I'm on a white towel here is one, I can see all the parts that come out of here, and two, it'll keep things from bouncing. It likes to catch things like little springs and stuff, and there are a few little springs. Now see, after 3,000 or so rounds, I am getting wear on here. I'm not concerned about it. I don't feel any difference. I believe it's just taking the bluing off and just buffing its way around. I'll keep my eye on that. Well, anyway, let's get started. I like working on a piece of wood. That way I can hook my slide edge over it. If I had it, better preference, I would have took my router and made a nice little hole right there to catch parts in. First thing we want to do is we want to take the extractor out. Okay, and that's nothing more than just pushing that pin through. So I'm going to take my hammer. And my trusty punch. I want to put my finger over the extractor so it doesn't go springing all over the dang place. Just in case. Okay. Now when you let it out, slowly let pressure off. There's the roll pin. It comes right out of that little hole right there. Set it to the side and your extractor will come out. There's a pair of springs in there. There's one inside the other. You don't want to lose those. Okay, there's your extractor. You'll want to clean behind that. It's typically full of gunk. Now, to take out the handles. There's a pin down in that channel. You need to pound it out of there. So you need a 16th punch. And we'll take that right on out. Okay? This is probably one of the most difficult parts of the whole operation, is working with this pen. Okay, as you see, there's the roll pin. Now I'm gonna leave my punch sitting through there so it doesn't come flying off. Set that to the side. Put my finger over the wing. Pull my punch out. Now you want to be a little bit careful because there's a spring behind this wing, so just let it come off like that and just pull it out. There's a little channel in there, the spring was in there. It's sitting right now in there, and there it is. Okay, now you got the wing. It's still on the shaft right there. So what I want to do is, right now the firing pin's kind of got it captured in there. It's holding pressure against it. So what you got to do is, let me pull the camera up and out of the way a little bit so you can see. Push down right there on the firing pin block with one hand, and then we'll push in the firing pin with the other, and then use your thumb and push the slide out as far as you can with your thumb, and that'll get it around the firing pin. Okay, and then if you watch here, you'll be able, once you get it out a little bit, you'll be able to rotate it up and see that right there. That's a little pin. Get a little pair of pliers. And grab hold of it and just pull it out of there. I'm going to get it up where I can grab it. I'm trying to do this on camera, so that's it. It just sits in there. It's not pressed in or anything else. It just sits. And then you'll be able to work it out. Now, that little pin sits in there like that. But there's another little hole right next to that, right up here by the wing. Let's see if I can get it. See that hole right there? That's where the ball and the spring live. And you can, the ball kind of presses in there and catches, but you can pound it out or a 16th punch and push the ball out. So here's how to reassemble your slide. We do things in reverse. Hold down the firing pin block, put your wing back in, push in on the firing pin, and you get it all, the moon and the stars aligned. It will sink itself down in there and you will be good to go. There it goes. Okay, so pull it back out just a little bit till you got your counterboard side there. Make sure you're in the right side. It's the side without the slot in it. Put the little pin in there. It's part of the firing pin assembly. Put that back in its hole, as so. Spin it around. Push the firing pin block back in, and it should bring itself back home. There it goes. Okay, once you get that in, grab your other wing with the spring. Now the spring has one side sticking up and one side sticking out. Let's see if I can get it where you can see it. And there's a hole in the wing right there. You can see it right there. The spring fits into that hole. It'll sit down in there, and then the other string, the other part of the spring, it catches on there. So kind of get your wing up like this, spin it around, the spring will catch, it'll go in, and then it'll push in flush and catch. Okay. Now make sure now get your hole aligned. Now I like to stick my punch through it. There we go. So now the wings are caught by the pin. Now you can drive the pin back home Start by sticking it back in its hole where it belongs, pushing it down in there as far as we can with our fingers. Move our board upward. Take our punch. Start taking it home. Now your pen will push your other punch out and through. And then just drive it down until it's no longer, until it's flush with the levers. And your levers move freely. And you can see it right there if it's sticking out. And don't worry if you go too far, just pound it back down through the other side. And that's exactly what I did. I went a little bit too far. There we go. Back to the G-type. Okay. Now, put the extractor back together. Put the springs, our double feed springs in there. Put our extractor back in. You can check the condition of your firing pin and channel there. You can see it's nice and clean in there. The extractor has got a bunch of goop on it. So I'm just going to take a patch I used to clean my gun with here and clean that off real good. So you get extractor maintenance while you do it. My extractor looks like it's in pretty good shape. So now I'm going to stick it back in its spot. I'm going to hold it in with my finger. And place my roll pin back in through the top. Give it a couple love taps with the hammer. And then drive it home with the punch until it's just below flush. Check it on the other side, make sure it's not sticking through. If it is, just tap it back just a little bit. And you're good. You're reassembled now. So now, check it by reassembling your reassemble your slide. Put our barrel back in. Put our spring assembly back in. Put our slide together. Decocker works. Let's make sure we can eject some brass. It's a beautiful thing, huh? And there you go. There you have it. Here's how to convert it to a G.